Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Real Podcast with Andile. We're still with the legendary Mandla Dube. So it's a part two of this podcast with him. So today, he wants to focus more on the digital side of cinematography. So I'm actually quite excited and looking forward to this one because even myself, I'm learning. You know what I mean? Even though I do have some knowledge, but getting some information from some people like Mandla, it's once in a lifetime to sit down with people like him and learn from him. So, yeah, welcome again.
Thank
To,
you. Thank you
yeah,
very much. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, yeah.
part two.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm here, happy to be able to.
Yes. So, thank you so much once again
Mm,
for opening up your time once again.
sure.
This means a lot, not just to me, but to those who will be listening via Apple Podcast, Spotify, or
Mm,
whatever, and those who will be watching, you
sure,
know. Hence, I've always wanted to sit down with you, not
sure,
just for myself, but
sure.
for other people as well. Because some other people as well. When I told some of my friends that I was going to have you on the episode.
Yeah,
Thanks, brother. I was going to have you on the episode,
yeah.
So everyone was quite excited.
Okay,
Everyone was quite excited. You know what I mean? So that's why we've been pushing,
sure.
to get this. So when you said that you are open to do a second part, I was like,
Yeah.
it's a blessing,
How
you
long?
know.
How long are your episodes?
My episodes, the longest one is like 1 hour 30 minutes.
Damn.
That's the longest.
Really?
That's the longest one.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's the longest one. But the shortest one, I think it's about 45 minutes.
And do you Can you intercut them with film clips, or you're not
Yes, I
allowed
can.
to? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want to do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever I want to do, we can do it.
No,
Like for it,
I'm
like
glad
for,
I'm glad you guys are doing this, and
yeah,
to be able to impart knowledge. And unfortunately, it kind of fast tracks the whole uh, lack of film literature
yes,
in as far as cinema is concerned
yes,
for South Africa and the continent. Asian cinema, American cinema, European cinema. There's a lot of literature that has been published, which is able to assist
yes, sir.
filmmakers for reference purposes and so forth.
Uh,
So on our
sorry,
end,
that's Yulisa. That's the producer.
oh
Yulisa.
okay, oh hi, how are you doing?
That's me.
Nice to meet you too, man. So
Yeah.
for us, it's this becomes a wonderful tool
Yes.
for filmmakers, for film connoisseurs, and
Yes.
also for students to be able to have reference material,
Yes. Yes.
to be able to when making your, either doing your honors, or when you're making your film,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about, which I feel is very key, is the issues of aesthetics
Mm-hmm.
and what informs our approach, and in particular how you see us shooting on digital now, as you're shooting on a digital camera,
Mm-hmm.
and how the camera sensors are still calibrated for Caucasian white skin
Can
tones,
I use this?
coming
Sister?
from, of course, coming from the period of how film stocks were manufactured in the past.
Yes.
So film stocks in the past were manufactured for white Caucasian skin tone, and I'm talking about Kodak, Agfa, and even Fuji was
Mm.
more for Asian skin tones and Caucasian skin tones, and so forth.
Yes.
So you find that now in the research and development that was done with film stocks was now transferred to the digital age,
Yes, sir.
and with that transfer, nothing was considered or even done in as far as researching for melanated skin tones, melanin African, melanin Indian skin tones, and Native Americans and so forth, right?
Mm.
And we are the majority of people on planet Earth, but that biasness of the technology erring towards Caucasian skin tones uh, uh, was not corrected when the digital age came. So fortunately, one having come from the cinematography background, I used to shoot on film stocks, and we saw that when we were on film sets and when you're lighting, you had to put a lot of light on a melanin skin tone,
Yes.
whereas on a Caucasian skin tone, you didn't have to. And sometimes when you had both characters who were black and Caucasian on the same on the same frame,
Mm.
the film stocks just didn't could not because the standards were mainly for Caucasian white skin tones. For black skin tones, there were disparities when you look at the image, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, going it's a negative, it gets processed, goes to the lab, and at the lab you end up getting a print, right?
Wow.
So even print paper
Uh-huh.
or print film stocks were not standardized for looking at melanin African Indian skin tones
Sure.
as a standard.
Yes.
So it's you can't ignore it and say,
Yes.
oh no, come on now, you know, camera sensors are better now. They can
Yeah.
see. No,
Yeah.
and nobody's gonna do it for you as an African or Indian melanated filmmaker or creator until you are intentional about doing it. So we've taken the initiative of partnering with the CSIR in Pretoria. And
Okay, what does CSR, just for those who
oh
don't
my
know?
God, I gotta Google that. It's a Center for Science
Oh, okay.
Research
Okay, cool. Got
in South Africa,
you. Okay.
and it's like the Silicon Valley,
Oh, yes.
if you want to
I
call it,
got you.
of South
I
Africa,
got you.
where the government makes sure that scientists are kept um, busy in as far as looking at research for development of the country,
Got you.
for whatever, whether it's military, whether it's image processing, whether it's you know biochemics, whether it's laser, whether it's space study, whatever, you know what I mean, space
Yes.
research and so forth. So that's what the CSIR. It's in Pretoria and it's across a place called the Innovation Hub,
Mm-hmm.
which is where our offices are.
Mm-hmm.
And we approached them, and when I say we, I'm talking about Ndumiso Nguni, who's a colorist,
Yes.
and he and I have been at this for the past 7 years or so,
Oh,
if
wow.
not more,
Oh, wow.
and looking at finding and creating standards, and talking we talking to the likes of Sony, and they've been accommodating,
Mm-hmm.
to finding ways that can be able to have the sensors talk to standardizing for melanin skin tones, because at the low end of the curve of the camera sensor, it especially for skin tones,
Mm-hmm.
you don't see African melanin skin tones.
Mm-hmm.
It starts breaking up. The res,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the image quality starts breaking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you have a white Caucasian skin tone there, it's very clear and you can be able to see, right?
Makes sense.
So it's a thing of being able to open up the shadow side so that the separation of the image of the faces can be seen properly.
Yeah.
So that when you get to post production and you are grading it, the image doesn't break up.
Mm-hmm.
That information is still there.
Sure.
So that's what we've been working on. But it's not about the camera sensor alone. It's also got to do with makeup, which I think that's like the holy grail of it all.
Mm.
Making sure that when you put makeup on a melanin skin tone person, they're not ashy. There's moist. We put enough moist on them so that their skin glows.
Mm.
And that is similarly that's what has happened with Asian and Caucasian skin tones. Manufacturers of cosmetics
Yes.
have created standardized products that make their skin tones look good.
Sure. Sure.
Whereas on our end, even cosmetics, there weren't any products that were manufactured catering for melanin African and Indian skin tones.
I got you.
So that's the new initiative that we've been driving and working on. And it's key and it's important.
Sure.
If you can look at films that were made, black and white films that were made in the 40s, 30s, and all of that, 50s.
Yes.
and you'll just see the separation of 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 black characters on there in comparison to white characters. It's different,
That's
right?
true.
It's
Yeah,
very
that's true.
different. Yeah.
Now that you're
I mean,
mentioning it,
even back in the day, white actors used to be painted with black ink to play black characters.
really.
Oh yeah, so it goes far that back, you know.
Yeah.
It's
So,
fact.
I mean, so because there are some other like old directors that still prefer to shoot on that still prefer stock than
Film stock, yeah,
than digital. You
yeah.
know. So like, what's your take on that? Like,
I mean, I think film has the texture of film is certainly different
mm,
than digital, but the camera sensors now in digital are so good
yeah,
that it's you can hardly see the difference. Um, I mean, film stock is what, like 10K or 12K
yes,
resolution, and I don't know if we have camera sensors digital that do that have that, but to the naked eye you can't see the difference,
mm,
and obviously we know that film stock has proven itself to be able to last more than 100 years.
yeah,
With digital, you've got to archive it in various forms, right? Whereas in film stock, it's there, it's plastic, and plastic can stay on forever.
yes, yes,
So it's to be debated. Maybe it's good that maybe people we can do a digital intermediate. You can take it and store it into film stock,
mm,
so that archive stays on for a long time,
sure,
right? Yeah, I mean those are purists. I used to be like that. I never wanted to touch a digital camera.
yeah,
Only wanted to shoot on film, but costs became an issue. Then the film lab in South Africa closed.
okay,
I was there when the film lab was closing. It was like, are you
jeez,
telling me that this stuff is never going to be used anymore? They were like, no, people lost their jobs, and you've got to pivot. I mean, now there's AI, right?
yes, yes,
We got to pivot and make sure that you embrace AI, and use it see it as a tool. Don't see it as a danger, and it's going to make your skill set obsolete. Embrace it. Learn from what you can be able to do with AI as a storytelling tool. So so yeah, I mean you can't, and it's here, huh? The technology is here.
yeah.
You
You can't
can't
deny
wish it
it.
away.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't deny it.
Yeah. So just a quick question, like for you, like as a director, looking for a DOP or cinematographer, like what is it that you are looking for? Like when you say, okay, like I've got this job. So like, do you use the same cinematographer or DOP like on any job, or you've got different cinematographers for different jobs? Since different jobs might be different styles and stuff like that, or you just use the same person.
I like to use the same person or same people,
Sure.
because you develop a shorthand of working with each other,
Yeah.
right? Rather than having to start from the bottom, and but if you have enough pre-production time,
Yeah.
then it becomes easier
Yeah.
to be able to do that. But it's just I mean, you'll watch and see teams of director, cinematographer collaboration. They normally do the same thing,
Yes.
back to back to back. Francis Ford Coppola with Gordon Willis, Ernest Dickerson,
Mm,
and Spike Lee for a long time.
yeah.
Um, there's a lot of them. Martin
Sure.
Scorsese with Michael Ballhaus for a long time,
Mm,
and obviously Scorsese and Bob Richardson, and Quentin Tarantino. So yeah, it just becomes easier because you've dealt with this person.
yeah.
You've thrown the bullshit out. It's all about being creative.
Yes. Yes.
Egos have been thrown out. It's like,
Yeah.
how do we make sure that we tell the best story?
Yeah. So it's not about the styles of that typical project or specific project. It's just you working with that person, that you
Yeah, I mean,
understand and know.
I think style, aesthetics, you can always develop that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, cinematographers are very solution-driven people,
Yeah.
and you know, they'll find out and come up with a solution for the style you want for that film.
Yes.
And if each film will have its own different style,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I think it depends on the relationship is much stronger first and foremost
More than anything.
than yeah, yeah,
Sure.
than to be
Okay.
coming on set be dealing with somebody that you're not even getting along with.
That's true.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's true. So let's say you work with what's the name? Medoc, right?
Oh
Usually.
yeah, Tommy Maddox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually.
yeah.
Or what's that?
Tommy Maddox. Yeah. When we can be able to do it because he's become so expensive now, you can't even afford Maddox.
Oh,
He's a member
really?
of the ASC. Yeah. And also time he's in the US. It makes
Yeah.
it difficult
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
work in South Africa.
So yeah, in
But
SA.
yeah, my first feature film it was with him.
Mm-hmm.
We just collaborated too now on Shaka. You know
Yeah.
that was for Showtime. Yeah, we have a shorthand and we communicate way ahead of time,
Yeah.
way before prep, like way before. We'll start talking about what films to watch, what books to read, what painters to look at, and we'll have a document that we will share
Mm-hmm.
together. I think something happened there.
Uh,
You know, so what we will do is we'll create a document that we work on together,
mm-hmm.
digitally, and like a Google Doc kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
That we both say, okay, tone. What's the tone of the movie? What are the lenses we want to show? Oh no, what's the story? Forget lenses.
Yes,
What's the
yes.
story? What's the tone? Why are we even telling the story? What is the color palette? What's the level of saturation that we want? We go into detail of
Yes, yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Then that document informs our prep.
Mm-hmm.
And in prep, we'll be like, oh yeah, remember we spoke about this? Oh yeah, now and then we say, okay, what lenses do we want to shoot with? What's the world that we're living in? Is it a world where the character sees through their point of view? We limit what they see, or do they see everything? How do people who they are interacting with see them?
Mm.
What's the lens choices that we want to be able to do? Are we gonna do handheld? Are we gonna do studio?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do is there going to be continuous movement in this? Why should there be continuous movement? What films should we reference to do all of that? For instance, for Kalushi, we referenced Days of Heaven,
Mm.
a Terrence Malick film. We referenced Malcolm X by
Oh, wow.
Spike Lee and S. Dickerson. We referenced trying to remember. Yeah, those were the two major reference points that we. Oh, we referenced Steven Spielberg's Munich. I don't know if you know that movie called Munich.
Munich, Munich, Munich.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The one that
It's with the Israeli guys that go and
go to
hunt
war.
down these terrorist
Yes, I know.
guys.
Yes, 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 yes.
These Palestinians
Yes, yes.
that had gone into Munich and,
Oh,
and
yes.
killed the spots.
I know. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, I know.
Spots, yeah,
I know that movie.
yeah,
Amazing
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that style is what we adopted. So
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Mm.
That's true. It's the same style.
yeah,
So when it comes to cameras, does that to cameras, does it matter? With you, like what camera you're shooting on or lens? Because some other directors, some other people would say, it's not about the camera; it's about the person behind the camera. They would say that you can
True
shoot
that.
with a Canon or you can shoot with the Nikon, something beautiful, more beautiful than someone who did it with an Alexa, anamorphic lenses and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
I agree with that. It's not about the camera; it's about the story. I think the first and foremost thing is once we have the story correct, once we are happy with the script, then we choose what's the world that we want the audience to look at this in. What's the aspect ratio that this story will live in? Right? Is it a 4:3? Is it a 2:3:9 or 2:4:0? Is it a 1:8:5? Is it and all those things matter. Are we gonna shoot full frame? Is it epic, or is it a world where we're gonna deny the audience for the first 20, 30 minutes? We're not gonna. It's gonna be low key, very claustrophobic, compressed, to try and understand the psychological um, thinking of the character,
Sure.
state of mind of the character that we are following. It's all those things, and then now you find the right tools. Okay, what tools should we use to do that? Oh, maybe we should do that on a mini Alexa, on a Arri LF, or on a Sony Venice, or maybe it doesn't need all of that. Maybe it's a story that takes place in the 70s. We want to bring some of the old tools so that the audience can be transported into that world. Or maybe this film will be shot on film as opposed to digital. Why? Because XYZ and so forth lens to elevate. It's always about the story.
Yes.
It's not about some of the people that have made films out there have used some expensive tools, but because they were leaning on the technology and expensive tools, the stories suffered.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's so true.
because the technology that can also overwhelm you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got all these lovely toys and you got all these people on set. You're trying to execute a shot, but oh my God, he's got 5 cameras, or she's got 5 cameras. They've got a crane. They had a giraffe.
Yeah.
They had a motion control. They had 5 drones. Yo. But story dololo. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, oh, geez,
Yeah,
they
it's
had all
true.
the expensive toys, but their story suffered.
No content.
No content.
Yeah.
So yes, and it's a progression. You don't just wake up one day and you're able to tell a story using all these expensive tools. You have to pace yourself, and you have to study and know your tools. We did a workshop with Maddox at Panavision where it's exactly that. It was about the writer-director relationship. What is a relationship from the standpoint of a director knowing how to communicate with their cinematographer? What is the vocabulary to use? What do you mean that you want to be able to deny the audience information beyond? They should only see you within a particular depth of field. How do we achieve that? Well, you talk. Okay, now that means we have to shoot this at a particular stop. We have to stay. The world has to be at a particular lens. It has to be anything 75 up. Anything that's below 75, we don't want the audience to see because it'll expose them to information we don't want them to know.
Yes.
And then we can only allow them, the audience, to see that information later on when the character has gone through a particular emotional breakthrough. Then we can start going wide. But those are all choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make a choice. The beauty is that with art, there's no right or wrong.
That's true.
No right or wrong.
That's true.
You just do it, and then you just have to trust what you're doing, and then make it look aesthetically pleasing. Make sure that you elevate your standards, and be cool with it. It's got to be cool.
Yeah.
And it's got the eye. You'll feel it that this doesn't look right. Something is off.
Yeah.
And you have to study. I encourage. Here now. There's a lot of museums. A lot of museums you can go to, and the beauty is that now we've got artists that you can study. Moses, what's his name? Makama. There's people like Makama. There's what's his name? Reggie Kumalo. There's Lindo. I can't remember Lindo's last name, but they are artists, contemporary South African artists that you can study their works.
Yeah.
In as far as how they design color in an image, how they design a portrait, right? How they let the light hit the face, and what is their source. You can study them, and we haven't had that we haven't had this opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, the painter can talk to the photographer can talk to the cinematographer, the director can now talk to their production designer, informed by the aesthetics of living artists It's a big movement going on. Just look around you. You just be a part of it. Go to the MOCA. Go to the galleries around and study South African painters.
Yes.
See what's informing them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very lucky. We can freeze. Nobody can do this, but filmmakers and artists, we can freeze time. Just like we just froze those 5 seconds. We can freeze time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody else can do that.
Yeah, that's so true.
We can shoot a frame rate of 48 frames per second, 72 frames per second, 120, 96 frames per second. Something is happening, and then it happens. Only we could be able to do that.
That's so true. That's art.
That's art, right?
That's art, yeah.
That's beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Just a quick question. I mean, to you, what's a good director? When you say that director is good.
I mean, it depends what we're doing. We're doing commercials. We're doing
Like film, like let's say film.
in general.
Like in general, like when you say like that director is damn good.
I think it's somebody who can collaborate. A great collaborator.
Yeah.
Somebody who can be able to articulate their vision strongly to the production designer, the cinematographer, the editor, the music composer, the camera operator. I think that's somebody. If you can be able to articulate your vision, or to the writer even, the script writer you're working with, if you can articulate your vision well and you can curate that vision all the way through the image pipeline of prep, principal photography, post-production, all the way to seeing it on the screen, I think that's a good director.
Yeah. Do you think
because it's not an easy gig?
Do you think we have it in our country?
Yeah, we have a lot of good directors. Yeah, we have a lot of good directors. Yeah.
Like what's your something that has been done by the director? Like which director you would say, or what form of director you would say that one is my favorite? Like who's
we
that
just
director?
lost one of the amazing directors in the country,
Yes.
Tebogo Mahlatsi.
Tebogo, yes.
He just passed away. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, may Tebogo, yes, that's true.
Yeah, he's very, very good. It's just unfortunate that he never moved into doing feature films or series, and I think he was about to do it now.
Yes.
He did years in the
I was
past.
about to say that. Yeah, I was about to say that.
I would have loved to see more drama. I mean,
films.
I think he loved commercials. So
Yeah.
he's left a body of work to study. It would be great if you could actually do a special on Tebogo Mahlatsi, the works that he's done, and just talk to other directors
Yes.
about his work and those that he has mentored and so forth. Tebogo Mahlatsi is good.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Aquino Motoso is amazing. Mandla Dube, very good. Daryl Roth, very good. MQ, I don't know if you know MQ. He does commercials.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe
There's lots of direct. Aquino, I mentioned Aquino. Who else? There's also some showrunners who are directing, like Busi Ntintili. She's very good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I
she's
love her.
amazing. Yeah,
I love
Busi's
her.
insane.
I love her.
Yeah, there are lots, man. There's lots. There's Suleiman Ramadan, right? He's also producing, but he started out as directing. There are lots. It's just a thing of us being able to collate this wisdom and this talent and have it be formidable and just go to these networks.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And not work in silos. You know those guys like Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg,
Yes.
George Lucas. They are friends. Behind
Yeah.
closed doors, they
They're friends,
do
yeah.
what you and I are doing. They give out, Scorsese will send a script to Spielberg, and Spielberg will give him notes. Oh, do this, don't do that. Or Spike Lee will send a script to Scorsese. Scorsese will help him and all that. In South Africa, we don't do that.
Yeah, you
That's
never
something to learn.
exactly.
From. That's what I'm talking about. Collaboration.
Yeah.
Filmmaking it's a collaborative art.
Yeah. South Africa.
It's
It's
not an
hard.
art.
It's hard to collaborate here.
Yeah,
It's
but
hard.
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
You'll get rejected. Well, if some other people reject you or don't even respond to you.
yeah,
Collaborations.
yeah, yeah. But that you can't let that deter you,
Yeah. Exactly.
because where you are going is where you see yourself
That's true.
You know, you gotta have you gotta have those goals to say, like, I'm a filmmaker. I'm in South Africa, but
Mm.
I'm a global artist who collaborate who who is to having a dialogue with other filmmakers globally.
Yes.
South Africa just happens to be my zip code of where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's lots
Yes.
of filmmakers within the continent to work with, so you just gotta see yourself
Yeah.
larger than, you know, a city.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, quick question. This is the question that like.
There's Zola Maseko. Don't you know
Yes,
Zola
I know Sir
Maseko? Yeah.
Zalamaseko. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
Zalamaseko.
Yeah.
Quick question. This is the question that like every young director wants to know, and I've been asked this question like so many times by a lot of people. Um, so, what does it take for a director that has never directed for Netflix to have their project, you know, um, on Netflix? It's either licensing or it's either whatever the case may be. You know, like I'm a young director, I've got a script, just wrote a script, and I'm developing a script, and I want it. I want to approach Netflix with the script. Like how, like where do you begin? Like how does it go about to have your
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna send it to you. Practical example, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna send to you right now. Watch, real time.
Hmm.
Hold on a second. Netflix pitch deck. So right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send to you
Sure.
so you can be able to share it with the folks on the podcast.
Okay.
It's a thing of start with this. Okay. It starts with the story, obviously. But it also starts with. There we go. I just sent it to you right now, right?
Okay. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
So now
Yes.
you can share that with everybody at home to say, guys, if you want to be able to talk to Netflix, understand the format of a pitch deck,
Yes.
storytelling, development,
Yes.
this is what they want. So work on that first. Because it doesn't help to go, hey, I want to talk to Netflix. Netflix, okay, let's talk. What do you want to tell us?
Yeah.
You're like, no, I just wanted to talk to you. About what? Oh, I've got this project. Okay, is your project ready? Is it ready for us to look at, to develop and all of that? No. Okay, well, can you go and do that first? It's because you might waste an opportunity.
That's true.
So if you start there,
Mhm.
develop your pitch deck, develop your story, your narrative, that it's solid, then you can say, okay, I've got a solid narrative. It doesn't matter where you take it to Netflix, Showmax, Amazon, whoever, HBO,
Mm.
but at least that's ready.
Sure.
Stay ready, so
Sure.
you won't have to get ready.
Yes. So how do you even begin? I know it's either a Netflix producer or a Netflix legal attorney or something like that. You know, legal firm or something that deals with Netflix issues or businesses. So
Yeah.
like how did it begin for you?
I think you have to have producers that already have a relationship with Netflix.
Yeah.
Then you go to them and say, hey, I've got this project. I want to get it to Netflix or to Amazon or to Showmax. I learn you've got a relationship. You just look. When people are when you watch movies, oh, that producer has made a film with Netflix. What's the name of that production company? Oh, their production company, in my case, Pambili Media.
Mm.
Oh, Pambili Media, I'm making these kind of projects. They might like my project. Let me take it to them and see what.
Yes.
It's as
You know,
simple as that.
the thing is that a lot of people have approached me, right? Because
Yeah.
I did like a trailer for Blood and Water season
Oh,
2,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've done some other trailers for Netflix. So people would think that I am direct to Netflix. They would ask me,
You have access.
exactly, you know,
Mhm.
even though I have their contacts because I've worked with some with them.
But you don't want to take advantage.
Exactly.
Of,
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking you this question, simply because of, for those reasons, because I have never done my own project that says this is my own project via
Yeah.
Netflix. It's either, I've said I'm direct that, for instance, the Blood and Water season 2
Trailer,
trailer that I did, and some other stuff that I've did, small things that I've done. You know what I mean? And people don't understand that there's a difference between doing those trailers and doing the actual fiction.
But I think it's what you're doing here. What you're doing here is part of that education, part of
Yeah,
that process. When I started, I mean, how did I meet Netflix? Do you really want to know the story?
I would love to. I would love
Okay.
to.
I had made a film titled Kalushi,
Yes.
and we were trying to get distribution for it. And
Sorry to cut you. The film was already made, was already shot.
the film was already done, done.
Okay.
It had, I think it had actually even gone to the cinemas. It had done really well. It did really well at the cinemas locally. And we were looking for it to be licensed to go to the next platform. And Netflix was starting to come up in South Africa. Hey, Netflix. Oh, what is this Netflix thing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And the NFVF had been a part of our sponsor.
Wow.
And I was at a party dancing at the Durban International Film Festival. So
Yeah.
that means you must, right there, okay,
Yeah.
I got to go to Durban International Film Festival.
Yeah.
Because Netflix, Showtime, Amazon,
They're
they
all
go
there.
to film festivals to go and look for new
Yeah, content.
creatives
Yeah.
and new content.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do if I was you. When you get to Netflix, go to the film festivals because that's where. So I was dancing at a party with a lady from the NFVF who was our development person in production.
Yes.
And then as I was dancing with her, a gentleman walked right past us. And then she said, "Oh, that's Ben from Netflix." I said, "Where?" She said, "That guy who just walked past there." I left her dancing there alone.
Yeah.
I ran to that guy, grabbed him on the back. He was shocked.
Yeah.
Somebody's mugging him or something. He said, "Oh, what do you want?" I said, "Hey, sorry to startle you. My name is Mandla Dube. I'm a filmmaker. Got this film titled Kalushi that we did.
Yeah.
And we'd like to sell it to you guys." And he's like, okay. Ooh, this is a party. I don't know if I can be able to. I said, "No, it's okay. I'll have coffee with you tomorrow. I'm here
Yeah.
until the end of the film festival." I had coffee with him. And then he was into, "Okay, what else have you done? What are you working on, you know?"
Mm.
And he was the only guy at Netflix Africa at that time. Ben was alone. There was nobody else. He started Netflix and then he just let it grow. And now there's Dorothy,
there's
there's
a lot now.
Tendeka, there's all those people, that are working there. But Ben, that's how, and I met him at a party.
Wow.
So now I'm not saying people must go partying, but go to film festivals.
Yeah, that's
And
why.
that's the best place to meet, to network with other filmmakers. There's Durban International Film Festival coming up in July
Yes.
in Durban. Go there. It's Africa's biggest film festival. Go
Yes.
there.
We'll be there.
I'm sure there's film activities here in Cape Town you can go
Yeah.
to. Johannesburg, there's always something. Look out for that stuff,
Yeah.
and because it's a long shot to send them an email.
Exactly. And they receive a lot of emails.
There is a lot of emails. If they don't know you, if they don't expect in your email, it
Exactly.
just goes to the bin.
Yeah, that's true.
And those people, you can imagine, there's hundreds and hundreds of Mandla Dubes who want to get their attention.
That's true.
So they'll give attention to people that there's a also we gotta be. It's a business, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to learn how to manage your time, how to manage your human relationship,
Yes.
how to manage, because time is money.
That's correct.
They're not gonna give time to you if they don't know what you're about, and
Exactly.
Exactly. So you have to get a business, some entrepreneur kind of modules. Take some lessons on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I don't want to waste any more.
Yeah,
I know that
I've got a
I know
screening
that
at 12
I know
o'clock.
that you have to leave. So, lastly, are there any other last words that you would, this is our part two.
Sure.
As I was saying to you, that part one was such a blessing.
Sure.
And I believe that part two as well. It's something different as well that our viewers will be looking forward to. Like any last words. I'm sure this is not the last time we sit down. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, I think my parting words would be never give up.
Mm.
Be intentional about what it is that you want to be able to realize on the screen. Don't let any negativity get in the way of where you want to go.
Mm.
Find a voice. Believe in your voice. trust your intuition, which is that inner voice.
Mm.
Let that voice inform your bigger voice, and let nurture that bigger voice inside of yourself. Trust your intuition, and there's no right or wrong.
That's true.
There's no right or wrong. You
Yeah.
can't be told, well, it's not in the format of the final draft script writing.
Mm.
Write a story. How do you mean to tell me that people that told stories thousands and thousands of years ago on this African continent were using final draft? No, they were telling stories.
That's true.
Find your voice. Let that voice be authentic. Don't be afraid. And these are just tools. What you're watching through there, over there. These are just tools of storytelling. You can use a phone to tell a story. You don't need to go and rent an equipment at Panavision, Media Film Services, whatever, to tell a story.
That's true.
We can sit here. You guys are telling stories right here. Tell us to be groundbreaking. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to take that Sony A7S,
Yeah.
to go and tell a story.
Yeah.
Don't wait for somebody to discover you.
Yeah.
Humanity started on this African continent.
That's true.
Think about that.
Yeah, I love what you just said. It reminds me, I remember when I first got into commercials, like a French director once said exactly the same words.
Oh, really?
Exactly the same words.
Yeah.
You don't need a big camera to start telling a story.
No.
You can use your phone. You can
Use your phone. Just tell a story.
Yeah, that reminds me, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So those are amazing words, and I've lived with those words, and
Yeah.
thank you so much again.
Yeah, and the
Mandla.
thing is to get away from, as I said, for somebody to discover you.
Yeah.
Get away from thinking that you need the Messiah syndrome.
Yeah.
Somebody to come from clouds
Yeah.
who will come and bless
After
you with
you.
$1 million to
Yeah.
make a film.
That's
Get
true.
out of that.
That's so true.
Get out of that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Spend 6 months, solid focus, 6 months, writing your story, knowing what it's going to cost you, shooting and making that story, taking it out there to the world, believe in your story. We need you to believe in your story so that we could be able to take the storytelling techniques to the next level. If you don't do that, we'll always be rehashing. Look at what's happening in Hollywood.
Hmm.
It's falling on its own sword because nobody wants to watch stuff from Hollywood anymore.
Yeah.
Hollywood is imploding.
That's so true.
It's imploding,
That's so
The
true.
streamers have revolutionized storytelling and filmmaking. South Africans, Ghanaians, Nigerians can tell stories and have them on Netflix and get millions and millions of people to watch them. You don't have to leave. Here's my last parting words.
Sure.
Don't go to Hollywood. Let Hollywood come to you.
I love that.
All right,
Don't say
thank you.
anything else. Don't say anything else. So, guys, thank you so much. That was the episode for today. Part 2 with Muput Mandla. Thank you so much, Budwan. We appreciate it. See you on the next one, guys. Cheers.